Very good afternoon. You're watching the newsroom right here on ET Now. I'm Ajaya Sharma. Well, Vynsley Fernandes, NXTDIGITAL, will be joining us in moments from now, right here in our studios. That's the ticker running on your screen. But before that, let's take a look at how the markets are doing. Markets actually got a very strong boost from dovish commentary and very growth-oriented commentary coming in from the RBI governor today. In a way, the short-term yields had hardened a bit. Some of the liquidity was already starting to get sucked in. So a lot of treasury guys we spoke to before the policy already said market was cautious. But there was a pleasant surprise by the governor today saying that conditions are still not ripe to walk on that glide path of sucking the liquidity or even rate hike or any such thing. Right now, growth support is what the economy needs, and they will continue with the accommodative stance. That's why it was a unanimous decision by the MPC committee to keep rates on hold and also to keep the stance accommodative. Very growth-oriented commentary. So even after the policy, if you see, the market has actually built up. In the 2-day, we are talking about 3 to 4% rally coming in. Pull up Bank Nifty and pull up the banking gainers, and you would see the big story actually playing out. So that was the action as far as the market goes. Good 550-point rally coming in on the Bank Nifty. Stocks like Bajaj Finance, etc. gaining. But there's also another very interesting story which is panning out in a mid-cap company which is undergoing a massive transformation. And I'm talking about NXTDIGITAL. That company is undergoing a digital transformation and a business transformation. And somebody who is, the stock is gaining 1% today, who's spearheading that transformation is Vynsley Fernandes, who's joining us today right here in the studios. By the way, Vynsley, good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us in the studios. Your company has also conducted a very successful rights issue recently. Good numbers, transformation. Where should we start from? Let's start by our conversation 2 years back right here in ET Now studios, pre-COVID times. And you had given the market as well as all your stakeholders a roadmap, a hint, what lies ahead. Some of them believed you, some of them raised question marks. But you have actually answered all of them now. How does the company stand?
Great. First of all, Ajay, thank you so much. And yeah, the conversation of 2 years ago nearly that we had in the studio is obviously a wonderful feeling, because you're right. There were those who were skeptical, but there were a lot of believers. And the best part is we've seen that a significant part of those believers have been our shareholders and our promoter as well. If you look at it, when we demerged the business last year and NXTDIGITAL became a listed entity, we said there are two things that we need to do, and it's something that I shared with you also prior to that. One was look at re-engineering the business and completing a transformation to a totally digital company, and without missing a beat, also ensuring that we corrected the capital structure of our company. So there are 4 things that we planned on the capital structure, Ajay. The first was we said that all the non-core assets, we needed to kind of dispose of them to become a strong, agile, lean company. So last October, we sold about 100 crore shares of Hinduja Finance, and we repaid debt to that extent. Close on the heels of that, we also initiated selling off a parcel of real estate in Hyderabad. In fact, we have closed the deal for 70 crores. 25% of that money has already been paid to us, and the balance, because the conditions precedent with that transaction have been met. So we believe the transaction will close in this fiscal. But the third most important thing was the rights issue. And the rights issue was something that we believed was very important to do as part of our capital structure. And we've completed that. And the fourth last piece, Ajay, is we have another parcel of land in Bangalore, and which, by the way, has a market value of about 150 crores. We carry about 12 crores only on our books. So once you look at all of it put together, today where we stand after our rights issue, our debt to equity ratio has come down significantly from 1:4 prior to the rights issue to about 1:1.5. Once the Hyderabad land sale comes through and the monies are all received, we will bring it down further to 1:3. And the best part is once the Bengaluru land sale transaction gets over, we will be down to 1:0.8. That, by any yardstick, is a very, very strong position for any organization to continue on its path of digital transformation. So, Ajay, that's on the capital structure. You raised a good point about the business model. And again, 2 years ago that we spoke about, we have transformed. We are now a digital company. The services that we offer are digital. Cable for us is a thing of the past. We now offer customers, there are wires into customers' homes, which is obviously the most reliable, where we provide not just television services, Ajay, but also broadband, and we've just launched OTT as of December. So customers look at us as being an end-to-end digital solutions provider. And that is why the rights issue, the kind of response of nearly 2x, was because our shareholders understand and understood that the company's vision was very well in sync with the way globally digital has been happening. And I think that has put us in good stead, that we have the confidence of the shareholders, the confidence of the promoters, and clearly that endorses the fact that we are on the right path of digital transformation.
Right,
Ajay.
right.
Yeah.
I think, Vynsley, markets actually really love to be, or shareholders love to be with companies which can ride through different cycles, business cycles, and keep transforming as per the requirement of the changing times. Right. You guys were slightly ahead of the curve, and now, of course, the company is set for a takeoff. I think somewhere, your promoters' operations, which are spread across countries, I don't know, a dozen or more countries across the world.
30 countries.
Over
100 countries.
So I'm sure you must be getting intelligence and inputs.
Yes.
And, things are happening with other evolved markets, and you can replicate them.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so tell us, now that your balance sheet is in much more stronger position, what are the strategic focus areas which you have, charted out with a stronger balance sheet, the company is transformed and set for a takeoff? If you could share a roadmap.
Sure. So, Ajay, we are a digital PaaS and SaaS model, right? So we are the only, we have the solutions, digital solutions that we offer are pretty much a portfolio of services. Whether you look at television, we offer. So I'll just give you an example. Sure. Probably that will put it in the right perspective. As of December 1st this year, we've launched a product which can give customers up to 700 television channels, can give them broadband with speeds up to 1000 Mbps, and can give them OTT of over 300,000 hours. That's the first phase of digital rollout. We are adding on layers which include Wi-Fi. As part of our Prime Minister's vision of the PM Vani project, we are rolling out Wi-Fi in public places so people can have a seamless experience, and surveillance as a service. So when you look at all the digital solutions put together, this is the immediate. Then comes the medium to long term. There are two big things, Ajay, that you will see happening, and you mentioned about an idea before its time. Again, at that point in time, we spoke about broadband over satellite, and we spoke about regional OTT. For broadband over satellite to really be successful, you need to have a strong footprint in rural India. NXTDIGITAL today has a footprint in over 4,500 pin codes in the country, including Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Lakshadweep, Kargil, Ladakh, all these places. We're very proud of that. And we've got about 40,000 feet on street as well there. We've got very, very strong regulatory experience. And more importantly, we have experience in two critical technologies for broadband over satellite, namely satellite, where we deliver, we have a HITS platform, and broadband, where we have a broadband company already with nearly 750,000 customers. So I think broadband over satellite will be our go-to roadmap as we escalate. And regional OTT. As OTT looks to expand into smaller cities, smaller towns, the cost of delivery, the cost of transportation on conventional networks will be a challenge. Not just cost, but also the reliability. That's when satellite comes into play, content delivery networks over satellite, basically OTT over satellite. And that's where NXTDIGITAL, by virtue of its portfolio of products and services that we have today, which includes wires into homes, which includes broadband, which includes television, tele-shopping, HITS, all of it put together, puts us in a very strong position to set the runway for the short term, as I shared with you, the medium term, and definitely the long term. So, we're quite excited about it. We are in the right space. And Ajay, we'll see a significant adoption of new technology as we move forward.
Sure. So that's exactly, I'll just take a leaf out of your answer and want to understand what are the innovations which you are planning ahead? What are the new technologies?
Sure.
Because it will not only append your your offerings, but also the consumer experience.
Right.
So can you tell us more about that?
So just to let you know, we, as of December 1st, we rolled out one of the most advanced Android set-top boxes, along with a television stick. So you plug in this television stick connected to a regular wire, and you get up to about 700 television channels, which is something that we've done in terms of innovation. But the other thing is, there are three things that actually bode very well for us. The first is, we are the only platform, the technology that we have, the head end in the sky technology, we're the only platform to actually cover India in terms of delivering, signals. So how do we leverage that in terms of technology? We're very, very happy that the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, in fact, it's an idea that was put forth by the regulator, Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, to provide infrastructure sharing. So suddenly for us, we have a footprint or a window of about 69 to 70 million customers, right, who want to ride on this infrastructure sharing model that uniquely NXTDIGITAL is the only platform in the country. So suddenly smaller multi-system operators, smaller operators in small town India can ride on our platform as a service and deliver their signals to all these markets. In fact, at the recently concluded CII conclave last month, Ajay, the TRI chairman, made a relevant point that, thanks to the TRI's recommendation being adopted by the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, we now have a platform, HITS, to be able to share infrastructure and basically benefit, all the stakeholders in the country and reduce operating costs.
In fact, Vynsley, your stock is now 1.5% higher. So it may appear small, about 5-7 rupee move, but it appears that your commentary is actually moving the stock.
That's good to hear.
Right. So before I let you go, Vynsley, all these efforts, painstakingly, you guys, along with your team, of course, and now flush with liquidity and a much more stronger balance sheet and new offerings, the stock price is actually a slave of earnings.
Yes.
How does earnings look broadly?
Sure.
What kind of improvement are we talking about, say, 12 months far out, not near term?
Sure. So I think one critical thing that we have learned from our promoter, Ajay, is keep your eye on the product, keep your eye on the performance, and your stock price will be a happy byproduct. And that's something that we've seen, right? We've only focused on our business. We've only focused on delivering value to consumers. And as a result of which, we've been able to, our rights issue bears testimony to that, where our shareholders have given us a resounding endorsement. So I think in terms of growth, with this entire new portfolio of services that we have, which extends from wired television all the way to broadband and OTT and others, we believe that we will see significant traction in our earnings potential. And I think more importantly, from a value creation perspective, Ajay, I believe that very strongly, and our promoters have that tremendous amount of faith, and our shareholders in us, that we will see the right value derivative accruing to us at the right time, right? I'll give you one simple example, which is why also there is a great comfort level today. The Ministry of Communications has now brought in has brought in tremendous clarity on AGR, right? The adjusted gross revenue. Earlier, you would see there are only 22 million wired homes in the country today, Ajay, while as the number of wired broadband, while as the actual wired homes in the country is about 90 million. The reason why platforms were scared to kind of roll out broadband on those wires was because there was no lack of clarity on AGR. Now, thanks to the clarity, the kind of growth that you will see from 22 million reaching the headroom of 90 million and beyond will be significant. Wow. And a platform like NXTDIGITAL, which already has the wire into over 5 million homes, I believe that we're very strongly placed to leverage these opportunities.
Excellent. That will be Ajay. Some volume growth, huh?
Yes, yes.
All right, Vynsley, we'll let you go on that one. Thanks so much for dropping by today, Ajay, and giving your shareholders a lowdown of things which will be rolling in the next couple of quarters.
Thank you, Ajay.
Let's take a short break on